শুভ সকাল কলি।
শুভ সকাল রবিন। প্রিয় দর্শক, শুভ সকাল আপনাদের সবাইকেও। প্রত্যাশা আর ভালো কিছু করার ইচ্ছে নিয়ে যে যেখান থেকে আজকের দিনে শুরুটা করেছেন আর যুক্ত হয়েছেন সকালের বাংলাদেশে, সবাইকে আমন্ত্রণ জানাচ্ছি আমি জান্নাতুল কলি
এবং আমি সাইফুদ্দিন রবিন। আপনারা জানেন সকালে বাংলাদেশ মানেই আসলে নতুন করে একটা দিনের যাত্রা শুরুর সঙ্গে সঙ্গে আমরা নতুন কিছু বার্তা দেওয়ারও চেষ্টা করছেন। কবি আমাদের সঙ্গে যোগ দিয়েছেন, আমাদের সঙ্গে স্বাগত জানাচ্ছি শেহজাদ দোজা আপনাকে।
স্বাগত জানাচ্ছি আপনাকে। শুরুতেই আমরা যেটা জানতে চাই সবার কাছে, the first thing we want to know from our guests that how do you start your day?
Well, it's a very every day is very different, right? So like everybody else, I wake up, I have my coffee, and I sort of start, like looking forward towards the day. I'm not really sure. Every day is so very different, and I'm like. Like if I see something beautiful outside, I might feel like writing that down or something. But like between that and my university work, it's just very different. So
that's how you start your day.
Yeah, it's just every day is so unique and different that I'm just like, it's hard to set precedent for every day.
Yeah.
দর্শকদের একটু জানিয়ে রাখতে চাই, এই তরুণ কবি মূলত বাংলাদেশি এবং তিনি সম্প্রতি বেশ আলোচনায় এসেছেন এবং সেই আলোচনার বিষয়টিও কবিতা। তার কবিতার মধ্য দিয়ে তিনি অনেক কিছু বলার চেষ্টা করেছেন এবং যদিও ইংরেজি ভাষায় সেই কবিতা তিনি লিখেছেন এবং তার সেই কবিতা আলোচিত হয়েছে একটি দেশের পার্লামেন্টে, স্কটিশ পার্লামেন্টে, রাইট? স্কটিশ পার্লামেন্টে আপনার কবিতা নিয়ে আলোচনা হয়েছে, মূলত জলবায়ু প্রেক্ষাপট নিয়েই আসলে সেই কবিতাটা লেখা এবং সেটি নিয়ে আলোচনা। এই বিষয়টি যদি একটু আমাদের জানাতেন, দর্শকদের জানাতেন।
If you don't mind me answering in English, I'm studying I'm at the University of Glasgow at the moment, and over there I am one of the future they have this thing where you have a group of students called the Future World Changers. So as part of the program, I was sort of invited from the university, with COP26 happening there. I was sort of invited with the university to write a poem about what's happening with COP. Bangladesh is at the forefront of climate change, and with my link with the Friendship Organization and GEO, over the many years I've seen, I've gone up north to Gaibandha and I've gone to many different places and seen the impact of climate change. So as a result of that, it's something that's like very deep within me. So I went and I started writing a poem about it, and we recorded the video at the beautiful and historic university. And from there it started. It was later with one of the MSPs, with a member of the Scottish Parliament. She quoted it later in Parliament, and sort of as a way of starting COP26. So that was lovely to see.
And then in that moment, what was your feelings?
I was a bit surprised in a good way, in a very sort of a happy way, because I think, I believe that poetry has the power to make change, to make real world impact. And, there's a very famous old poem, a very famous line from a very old poet that says, poets are the unacknowledged legislators of the world. So, it felt that good, to have my poetry being read out in that sort of a legislative space. So, I'm still trying to come to grips with it. And hopefully I've been invited by them to go when I return to Glasgow now. So I look forward to seeing the beautiful building.
Okay.
Of course. So Shezar,
Yes.
I want to know that when you decided to be a poet, I mean not engineer or doctor or something else, what did you think, and when you decide?
I think I was at the ripe old age of 8 years old when I realized I wanted to be a poet. Many people have Onekjon like their parents sleep, give songs and everything to sleep. But I was very fortunate that my mother used to read me poems. Kobita as a way to thing. And then I realized that just such a beautiful medium. Just such a beautiful tool.
You feel connected.
I feel connected with the words, with everything that is trying to express. Like when I was very young, I had I had a difficult medical condition, so I had difficulty talking until I was until I was a decent age, I would say. And then, so for me, poetry gave me a voice.
Okay.
And that voice is something, that I want to give to other people as well, just to show that poetry is such a powerful medium and a tool for expression for anybody.
Yeah. Is there anyone who is your mentor or inspiration in poet?
I've been very lucky to have some wonderful mentors. I think for me, everybody knows the great Indian poet Shudip Sen.
Yeah.
He was a very big influence for me in terms of, he helped me a lot during my growth as well. And then there were many poets in the UK who just came out of their way and just to help this young poet, to come up and, just learn the forms or to be a mentor along the way. So I think I've been very lucky. I think, it's there are a few of them who've been there. So I think she has been just a wonderful sort of figure for me to learn how to learn the basics of editing and writing and everything.
Yeah.
What's about your education?
Like I'm currently or before?
Currently.
How did you start? I mean, like the whole journey with study and poem and everything.
Like I said, I started when I was very young. I used to write some poems, just used to read some poems and then used to copy the style like anybody. And it started coming, and then I went to high school in India, and over there I was very lucky to have a very good English teacher who sort of told me that, to continue along the way, to sort of encourage me constantly to keep reading more and more. So I think with my high school...
So you started, sorry to interrupt you, you started in abroad, in India?
No, I started in Bangladesh.
Okay.
I started writing when I was very young.
Okay.
And then it continued and it grew. It became much bigger. And I think I learned a lot along the way. And I think in India it also helped me a lot to sort of understand, what is happening in the world of poetry right now.
Okay.
I think a lot of times we are sort of, we're sort of like always learning the old poets, but not learning who the current poets are. And I think that's always been a bit of a problem because, we should be encouraged to read the current, field of poetry, to appreciate who is living now in the field.
And
that PhD on Glasgow University, on which subject? I want to know.
I'm doing what you call a doctorate in fine arts. It's a PhD in fine arts, and it's in creative writing, actually.
Absolutely. Yes, I wanted to know about that. Creative writing include or influence you on written poetry?
Yes, I went and I did my master's in Glasgow University in creative writing also. And it's just a wonderful experience to be there, because I think it's a very practical and pragmatic approach. You're learning, you're learning the art of what it takes over there, not just to be a writer, but also to see the publishing world, to see like very real things, what's happening. And I think every writer nowadays, we can all write our poems, in our own time as well. We have to learn how to do that, but also how the reality of being a poet, to constantly, all the struggles or even the publications and everything, how to go about step by step. So I think these are all part of the creative writing, like the masters and the DFA and everything. It's all a very holistic approach.
Shazar, where do you, where you see yourself on your poem? What kind of message you want to give?
I want to basically give that poetry has the power to change the world. That is one of my that is one of my very strong message. I believe that very deeply, and it's something that, like I was saying earlier, that I want to give voice to the voiceless as well, and with that, I'm an editor. I've started my own, literary magazine. I was in Luxembourg before I moved to Glasgow, and over there I started a literary magazine. And in Glasgow, I'm also editing one of the biggest literary magazines called Gutter in Glasgow. And I've also edited many different things, like a book. I've edited many books, especially the one which has come forward to me was, the I'm a Rohingya. It's a book that my fellow editor and me, James Byrne, who's an very well-established English poet, and myself, we went to the Rohingya camps, and we did the first creative writing workshops there, and we worked with the Rohingya poets from the camps and from different parts of the world, larger diaspora, and we came together with this particular book. I am a Rohingya, poetry from the camps and beyond. And I think, like I've always believed, like I said, that poetry has the power to change the world. And, something like this, projects like this can go about doing it. We held the thing at the Friendship Learning Center in the Rohingya camps. And just over there, seeing what, what they've gone through and what they can write about.
What was your experience of Rohingya camp, and how, when you read about their poem, about the writing, what do you feel?
It's very difficult to express because we can't imagine what the Rohingya have gone through. And in the book itself, there are many very difficult poems in there, about the trauma and about everything that they've gone through, and they're trying to work very hard towards learning how to express themselves. And I think because of that, it's hard not to feel anything, but it's hard not to feel sad, and that nothing more is being done for on the world stage as such to help, especially with the poets.
Okay.
So
now we want to hear your poem by you.
Oh, okay.
Can you recite from?
Yeah, it's just I'll just read a very quick poem from my first collection, which was, again, like I said, edited by Shadeep Sen.
Drift.
It's called Drift. It's from University Press Limited and Monsoon Letters, which is a lovely literary press here.
UPL
Distance.
also.
As we move, we hide ourselves. Distance, an illusion our senses take comfort in. Our lips clench, sipping wine, cups empty, sweeping dusty attics, locking up skeletons. Our prose becomes hyperbole, and poetry, no space for that.
Poetry জন্য কোনো space নেই. Okay, thank you, Shreja.
Thank you so much
for coming with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Thanks to you. And we wish you very good luck with your poem and what you want to be. I mean, like a voice of everyone, a voice with poem. Wish you all the best with that.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me today.
দিনটা শুরু হোক সুন্দরভাবে সবার। ভালো থাকবেন, সুস্থ থাকবেন, নিরাপদে থাকবেন।
সাবধানে, সতর্ক চলাফেরা করবেন।